This is KUGAN CASSIUS for Rifle TV in association with MTK Global. We're at the Win here in Las Vegas. It's never a fight week, even though it's got nothing to do with you, this fight, if I don't interview you.
I am the John Terry of other people's shows. I had a picture yesterday. The WBC man just came to me and said, could you do a photo with the belt? So I went like that and he sent it to me and I posted it on Instagram. It's like, oh look, he's not even involved in the fight and there he is with the belt. That's true though, that's true.
Yeah, so you're over with Tony Bellew and some of the bets.
Nathan Cleverly. That's the main reason I'm here.
No, but you travelled over with Tony Bellew, is what I mean.
And this is my new look. This is the American Eddie Hearn.
If that's possible.
It's my favourite person in American boxing. What's happening, Brad? How are you, mate?
Everything's good.
I'm getting.
You haven't meet Bruce Trampler?
Yeah, hi, Bruce.
Hearn.
Honour to meet you. Yeah. I was just saying, he's Carl Moretti from Top Rank, for the British fans who don't know, right? He's turning in to the Eddie Hearn. Right?
Eddie Hearn.
Now.
And now who's got better celebrations?
No, hold on. Whenever one of his guys wins, I've watched now, he is the first one. He's like... And they said...
And listen, sometimes the guys don't win, so you don't get a chance to celebrate. So the
true.
key is you got to win the fight first to get in the ring. If we don't win Anthony Joshua, when he won, I thought he was going to have a heart attack and not be able to enjoy the championship, but he got through it.
But he's actually as close as you're going to get to the worst ring invader and celebrate as me. He's really, but
we got
you
that
know
side
why?
and we got this
Because
side.
he enjoys it and he loves it.
Right.
And you on the night when your guy wins,
If
you
you can't have
control
fun and passion and emotion with it, then why do it?
But you can't actually control how bad you look because you're that excited, and that should show you how much we're into it. And actually, we're here today to look at Top Rank's new deal with ESPN, which actually, sitting there listening to all the corporate jargon, sounded about the closest thing I've ever seen to Matchroom and Sky Sports, to be honest with you, in terms of 16 shows a year,
Exposure,
OTT content,
stuff when they're not in the
blackout,
ring.
on-demand stuff, growing the next generation of fighters into world champions.
Okay.
And now Carl's got to do 16 shows a year like me, and half hard.
See?
But
And eventually, Eddie's going to lose his hair.
it's in the process of it at the moment.
Carl, obviously a big announcement today, but even bigger than that, have you heard Eddie Hearn's impression of Bob Arum?
Yes, it's terrific.
Just did it.
Only in the car.
Did it, yeah.
Only it's terrific. Now, have you heard Bob Arum's impression of his dad?
We probably sound like that.
They were
How
up
you
at the
doing?
Hall of Fame together a couple of years ago, and I sent him the picture. And you know what he texted back to me? Watch your wallets.
You know what? What I love about Bob Arum is that he does not give a shit what he says.
No.
Like there was actually one moment on the stage there with Stephen A.
came this
Smith,
close.
and he went, "I mean, what were you talking about?"
What fight were you
watching
watching?
with a Pacquiao, and he's like, he reminds me a bit of my dad. He's a bit older than my dad, but he reminds me because he doesn't care. He
At
says
85, why
exactly,
should he?
exactly what
It's
he
just,
should.
you know, you're not going to tell him anything.
I've loved it, see, Bruce. Yeah.
You're not going to tell him anything.
Yes.
Listen, we got the President's Cup coming up soon.
Worse yet, Eddie develops the Jersey Italian accent.
Oh,
I know,
but
yeah,
we'll teach him how to
We're
eat.
working on that one. Yeah.
Can eat
See you,
good
Bruce.
food, so that's all good.
No, it's good stuff. Congratulations on
Yeah,
everything, mate.
thank you. Appreciate it. Working with you soon.
Well done.
For sure.
Right, okay. So you're all here. Thank you, Carl.
I'll see you in a
thank you
second.
very much,
Yeah,
Carl.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Huge event tonight. You was at the weigh-in yesterday. In comparison, obviously you do involve yourself in loads of events that don't really concern you. But how big did it felt
Yeah,
to
it's
me
massive.
yesterday, all
Yeah,
week
massive.
has felt
Yeah.
like
I mean,
massive.
I've said all along, you're bringing together two completely different markets with UFC and boxing. So, and I've always thought that the two markets aren't very similar. So I don't think there's a lot of crossover in terms of UFC and boxing. There is some crossover, but what you're having two guys with their own fan base and two sports with their own fan base coming together, which multiplies everything. And you see that in the numbers at the weigh-ins, at the numbers in the media events and so forth. Just 1 second.
Back up.
Yeah,
in terms of numbers.
you see that on the prepaid. I think this is going to break UK records. Whether it breaks US records or not, I think it'll be very close. Pay-per-view around the world. I was talking to IMG yesterday. I mean, New Zealand, Australia, just record numbers everywhere. I just hope that it's a good fight. We know we've got a good event. We've had a great build-up. Now, I just hope that we get a good fight. And as much as I always like to associate myself with events that aren't mine, if this does go tits up tonight and it's a shit fight, I would like to point out I have absolutely nothing to do with it. But I was just talking to, I can't remember, Al's mate there, the Irish guy who does some of the video analysis for Conor.
Yeah.
They're really, he really
Yeah,
shocked
yeah.
me there because he said to
Paul,
me,
his name is,
I actually didn't know he was on the McGregor team. And he said, what do you think tonight? I said, I think Floyd wins easy. And he was like telling me how
Yeah.
he's hitting so hard and he's so unorthodox and he's throwing punches from different angles and I don't know. I mean, I just think this is boxing now.
I mean, speaking to people, all type, different people in boxing though, no one's giving him literally a chance in the fight.
I
But
don't see how he can win the fight. You know, if you're talking about a lucky punch, does he hit harder than Cotto, Maidana, Canelo, Hatton, and
Marquez.
No. I mean, I think no. But what he has got, Conor McGregor, is an incredible amount of belief. And he's a fighter. He's a fighter. But he is a fighter. You know, he knows how to fight. He's not a great boxing technician, which I think will be his downfall. But it's not like it's just some geezer they've picked out of the crowd. Do you know what I mean? This is a guy, he fights for a living, and he's a tough bastard. So I'm just hoping that we get a good product. I think you've got a good card. No Gervonta Davis messed up. I mean, this is a lesson to young fighters, and I'll be talking to my fighters about this. Don't ever think you've cracked it when you haven't cracked it. Don't ever stop hustling and grinding, because the moment you do, you'll get spanked on the arse. And don't ever listen to people around you that are blowing smoke up your arse, telling you you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, telling you you're the new pay-per-view superstar, telling you you're the successor to Floyd Mayweather, and then you go and lose your title on the scales. Just stay humble, stay grinding, don't listen to people, keep your team small, stay out of strip clubs, and just focus on what you have got, which is an incredible future. Really good fight with Nathan and Badou
Tough
Jack.
fight for Nathan, yeah.
I thought Badou Jack looked a little bit fleshy on the scales yesterday, but whether that means anything, obviously he's moving up £7 to light heavyweight. But
He's
I think
not
you're going
phased Nathan though, is he? He's
No,
coming
not
in
at all. I mean, he's been in big fights. This is, I think, one of the defining fights of his career, to be honest with you. And one thing Nathan has got is tremendous work rate. I think style-wise it would be a great fight because Badou Jack likes to stand in front of you. Badou Jack doesn't do anything sensationally, but he does everything really well. He's a very solid fighter, so I'm expecting a great fight, a close fight, and I think some other good fights on the undercard. Tabiti against Cunningham is a good fight.
Savannah Marshall on the card as well.
Yeah, good to see her. And then, obviously the big one, which the atmosphere, the anticipation for this event is going to be incredible. We just hope that we get a decent fight.
Ring walk times, what have you been told? As in for UK people?
So Nathan now is going chief support because Davis has missed the weight. So I'm expecting him to probably ring walk at about 3 o'clock, between 3 o'clock and 3:30 UK time. So I would say, they always tell you, and I always get told off by people on Twitter, but what we're told normally is that Mayweather will ring walk about 4:30 AM. I think it could be
UK
closer
time.
to 5, to be honest with you. But, my advice would be to tune in from about 2 in the morning and try and see it through. If you're setting your alarms, set it at 3 or 3:30 so you can catch cleverly as well. And, fingers crossed everyone has a good night.
Right, moving on to our scene. Spoke to you for probably a couple of weeks now. So we're going to start with AJ, Anthony Joshua. Still the same. Are we looking at still October?
Yeah,
28th?
Pulev. We're talking with Calla and Sauerland and trying to finalise all the details, sort of stuff about Pulev in a week.
Yeah, what? Yeah,
sort of a few little mind games and negotiation games. But if he doesn't want to fight, then we'll move on and look at other guys. But it's a big fight for him, big opportunity. October 28th is still the focus, and I would hope that we'll get that boxed off and formally announced very soon. So that's the plan on the IBF side. Then we want to fight Luis Ortiz for the WBA. He could fight Deontay Wilder. If he does, we want to fight the winner of that fight as well.
Will you be just for example, Joshua fights Pulev, beats Pulev. Would you be allowed another fight before you get to fight Ortiz or not? You'd have to fight Ortiz straight after.
Yeah, we've still got an issue with Ortiz, going in with a Pulev fight, but we have to deal chronologically with who's first and what's been ordered first. And the WBA, I think, they do understand that in their rules. And the IBF mandatory was called way before, so we have to deal with that. Then we have to deal with the WBA mandatory with no exceptions. And then we have to fight who we want. And that would be a unification fight with Deontay Wilder. If Wilder fights Ortiz, then we could fight the winner actually sooner than that, which would be next spring, summer. And AJ, AJ's not interested in vacating any belts, in paying people to step aside. He wants to fight them and go through them. So he wants Pulev, he wants Ortiz, and he wants Wilder. He wants to fight all these guys. So that's good news for the fans.
So November 11th off the table?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that
We
will
won't be going to Vegas. We'll be going to Millennium Stadium.
Millennium Stadium. Okay, 100%.
And you'll be allowed.
Well, obvs.
Obs.
Undercard wise,
For
28.
strong. Very
Working
strong.
on it already, obviously.
Yeah, loads. I mean, obviously, it's only 9 weeks today. So, multiple world titles. All
Dylan
of our
White
top
be on that
talent.
card?
I think he's a very good chance, Dylan White, to be on that card, yeah. Gerald Miller, I'd like him to
You're
fight
gonna
Brazil.
speak
I'd
to
like him to fight
Miller
Lucas
this
Brown.
weekend?
I spoke to Miller yesterday. He's actually a good guy. He's, he's a nice guy. I think he secretly knows he needs 2 or 3 more fights before he can... Yeah? Okay, we've got to cut this one and we'll start.
Okay. Just picking it back up.
He's gonna knock out Floyd Mayweather and... I can't stop singing that song. Have you met him?
No.
Really?
No.
It's poor form of you.
I haven't seen
Unlike
him.
you.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
I have seen Jane Couch here this week, though.
Have you? Oh.
Yeah. We had a good chat.
Old flame.
Yeah,
Not in that respect, but as in business, old business flame.
Yeah, you had to have a meeting with your more important friends, obviously. Carl Moretti and Big Todd. Yeah, undercard. Talking
Yeah,
about
for joy. No, big undercard.
Yeah.
Multiple world title fights. All of our top boys. Seeing Dylan White on Tuesday, looking to get him a big fight on the card as well. So yeah, it's gonna have a very strong card.
Who else could feature on that card?
KUGAN, Kate Taylor, Dillian White. Got Frank Buglioni coming up against Callum Johnson. Boatsy Akoli. I want to put another world title fight in there as well. Caldina, obviously, Welsh boy. So yeah, we've got a lot of planning to do over the next week.
What's kind of the second option if somehow Pulev...
We'd have to go
Doesn't
down the
happen.
IBF. If he doesn't want the fight, we'd have to go down the IBF list, which would fall to Takan.
Really?
Yeah, so another solid fight. But listen, I'm guessing all the conversations with Calla are positive, and he's got to obviously do his deal with Pulev, but it's a big opportunity and big money for Pulev. So I'm very confident that fight will happen October 28th.
Just a little bit about Carl Frampton. Obviously, he put that statement out, and I saw him yesterday, but he doesn't want to talk about anything, so there won't be anything on that regard. But yeah, can't really read between the lines of what's happened there.
No, I mean, obviously they've split. Doesn't look like Shane's training him anymore. It looks like a clean split in terms of promotion and management and training. I haven't had any conversations with him.
Why?
I don't know. I probably come across like quite a sleazy rat, but I don't really chase people. Like these Olympians now, other promoters would literally wait for them to leave their house and sort of follow them down the street. I think that when the time is right, we'll have a conversation with Carl Frampton, and if the road is clear, then I would be very interested in working with Carl Frampton again, and I believe that I can do a great job for him. Whether he has any interest in working with us, I don't know. I think that he's bright enough to know that we could do a great job for him. But it must be extremely sensitive. And I don't think he really wants to talk about it at the moment. So my strategy is, Carl, we're here, and I'm sure he knows that. And when you're talking to people, we would like to be one of those people. So, but it's not a case of phoning in like every
Secret
10 seconds
meetings
again.
at
Mate,
Hooters.
I'm here, where are you? Oh, I'm just out of the port at the moment. Oh, so am I can see you. You got the green trunks on? It's not. We're not going to be stalking him. But he's an excellent fighter, and a huge star, and can be an even bigger star.
Right, show's coming up. Obviously, show next week.
Next gen, all
next
sold
gen.
out at York Hall. When you talk about talent and talk about this top rank deal, same kind of thing coming through. On that bill alone, Cheeseman, Akoli, Conor Ben, Boatsy, Jake Bull in a title fight. I'm sure I've missed someone as well. And so much talent coming through then that's what the next gen does. And I think the last next gen show, matches were a little bit weak. I think we've got some good solid matches this time. You've got to understand as well, Jake Bull's in a tough 50-50 fight. Conor Ben's against a good undefeated kid. You're not going to get these guys in like pure 50-50 wars in the second, thirds, and fourth fights. But it's important that we step up the quality, and you get the chance to follow these guys, and they get the chance to be the prime focus on these shows rather than boxing at 7 o'clock on an undercard. So next gen's very important for our development. Then the week after, Sky Sports have got the big super flyweight show with Gonzalez. Then 2 weeks after that, we've got Campbell against Linares in LA. You coming out to that?
Hugh Fury and Parker.
Is that happening?
Leave off.
And then the week after that, we've got our Liverpool show, Butler against Hall, Rocky Fielding against Brophy, Masha Dodd against Stalker, O'Hara Davis against Tom Farrell, Tasha Jones, Machine, Anthony Fowler, great card. October the 7th, Burns against Crawler, absolutely romping on the ticket sales. Could even have a full house in the MEN on October the 7th. Really good fights on the card. Sam Eggington defending his European title. Robbie Barrett defending his British title against Lewis Ritson, great fight. Pretty Boy Kelly back on the card. Boazzi on the card. Then October 21st, we have the big bantamweight unification in Belfast. Ryan Burnett against Zanik Zakhianov, IBF and WBA titles. Press conference on Wednesday in Belfast. Just announced Paul Hyland against Ormond, great all-Irish fight.
Yeah, very good
Got
fight.
really couple of really good fights on the bill, and some of our big stars as well. So I'm really hoping for a sellout at the Odyssey this time around. I think Ryan Burnett deserves it, and I think this is an unbelievable fight. The week after that, we're going to be Millennium Stadium in Joshua. The week after that, we're going to be in Monaco with our big show, looking at Scott Quigg returning there, Jane McDonnell against Solis, another little surprise heavyweight clash, and also an international fighter on the card as well. And then we move into November. You know, Kell Brook coming back, hopefully end of November, early December.
Could Chisora be on one of these cards?
Possibly, yeah, possibly. And Tony Bellew will fight December 9th or December 16th. So,
Where?
good question. Not sure yet. We're working on venues.
Do you have the O2 again this year?
No.
Oh, really?
No, it's really hard to get this year. Really hard. We've got it February the 4th next year. That's how far you have to go in advance.
I've got one day at the O2.
I know. Could you have a word with them?
Bellew.
Yes.
Can we rule out Bellew and Michael Bisping?
Yes. Unless tonight is an absolute cracker, and we'll sign it in the morning.
What did Bellew say about
Bellew
that,
just wants to fight everybody, you know. And then Bellew starts telling me that actually he's an unbelievable wrestler. I was like, what are you talking about? No, I'm a great because you know he follows UFC, but he's a hardcore fan, and he's like, no, I'm unbelievable on the takedown. I'm like, mate, what are you talking about? So yeah, Bisping, no, I don't think. And I flew out with a couple of UFC guys as well. I think we keep Bellew away from UFC. I saw David Hay this morning in the gym. You know.
Have a chat?
Yeah.
How are we on that? Rate me 1 to 10.
Listen, you have good chats, and then you think you're getting somewhere, and then you don't. And we had a good chat this morning. He tells us he wants the fight, and to be honest with you, the fight that Tony wants is David Hay, and I know the fight that the public want is David Hay as well. But it's just so hard, you know.
Is it still the little stumbling blocks?
David, it's like Tony never won the fight, you know? And it's like, worse than that, it's like Tony won with a routine KO, you know? They've both got to understand, Tony won deservedly victory, but also with a controversy of David hurting his Achilles. And David's got to realise that he didn't do what he said he was going to do, and he lost the fight. He got stopped, he got knocked out. So if they can both understand that, realise there's so much money to be made in a rematch, the good thing about this fight, if it happens this time around, is you know it's a good fight. Before, people were thinking it was a mismatch, weren't they? You know? Now you actually know this is a real fight. So I want to do it. But Tony has got options, you know. He has got
the Parker,
Andre Ward, Joseph
Fury.
Parker, you know, other fights as well. So, but you always have to listen to demand. You have to listen to the public, and the public want to see Hay Bellew or Bellew-HAYE too.
There's a thing over the name of this, isn't there, as well?
Probably, yeah. But of course, Bellew won the fight, so it has to be Bellew-HAYE. Changing rooms, splits, ring walks. you know, the only thing is like both guys are on suspended bans from the board as well. So it's just like the whole build-up is going to be even more ag because you know they're going to go at it, and it's. But that's what you want to see. You want to see a little bit of controversy. You want to see some bad blood. But you know this time you'll see a great fight because, you know, the last fight, even with the injury, was a good fight. And this time, injury-free, you're going to get a great fight. And Tony really believes now, even more, that he'll beat him.
Kelbrook?
Can I end of December? End of November. I want to take him back to Sheffield.
Yeah. And
I want him to move up to 154 pounds. You know, something in his head still tells him that he can make welterweight. And I don't agree. But I'm going to see him next week, and then see where we're at.
Just a final thing on the McGregor Mayweather thing. What did you make of all that Malignaggi stuff? The sparring.
Bit of a mess, wasn't it? I mean, it's very clever because they obviously put out the clips that made McGregor look very good. But as the man there told me, he said he absolutely beat Malignaggi up in sparring. Malignaggi's also retired. He's also out of the ring. He's carrying a bit of paunch. But again, if he did compete well with Malignaggi, then I'm more hopeful of a good fight tonight. But who knows? You know.
What row are you in tonight?
I think I'm in row C or D.
Pretty big time, isn't it?
Well, a big time kind of guy.
Do you think that the camera will pan to you when they're listing all the celebrities in the house?
Do you remember that with Kovalev? So I was sitting there, and they're doing all the celebrities, and it's like, you know, one day that'll be me, you know. And then I've looked at the screen, and I'm on the screen, and I'm like, sort of looking down like that, and they're like, and then the whole place has gone mad, and I'm like, fucking hell, proper cracked it over here. Bloody hell, I didn't realise they all watch the shows. Look back up on the screen, and Sergey Kovalev sitting behind me. So I'm like, I just remember getting my drink and going.
That's all right.
Oh well, you can only try, can't you?
Imagine the names there tonight.
KUGAN, CASSIUS.
Like actually, like you know.
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good. It's a great occasion, and like I say, I'd like just to see a decent, even if it's decent bits of a fight, you know.
What are projected numbers for Sky?
I think it'll break the record.
Which is at the moment
Joshua
and
Klitschko.
What was Hat Mayweather?
1.05.
And that Joshua was.
I'm not telling you, but quite a bit more than that. And this one, it's crazy. 5 o'clock in the morning. But like I said, it's the two audiences, you know. Like Conor McGregor does big numbers on his pay-per-views. Huge star. Funny geezer.
You met him?
No, I've only ever seen him in the flesh once, and that was yesterday. I was walking to Nathan Cleverly's changing room, and he walked past me, and there was no media or cameras, and he had his shirt off, and he had those specs on. And he was like this, like walking down, and I thought I was looking out for like a documentary crew. So he's focused, and he's a winner, and he's a fighter.
As no one's looking, can you do the Conor McGregor arm thing?
What, the warm-up?
Yeah, sorry, go on.
This is the Conor McGregor. I can do the walk, by the way.
Let it go, let it go.
Something like that.
Things
I do for your channel.
This is people should embrace you as a promoter. What promoter? Could you imagine?
That bloke over there was just to let everyone know, we're at the ESPN top rank, like official, and everyone's looking out thinking, what? Who is that guy interviewing?
Aaron do?
I nearly put my shoulder out. Anyway.
All right, where are you gonna? Who are you
Going
meeting?
back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's the event's such a circus in a good way that, again, we've only got one fighter on the card, and I feel like I'm promoting the show. Got to take that call.
Eddie
Over and
Hearn,
out.
thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
Cheers, mate.